that female.
Tuna ugeni ndani ya studio.
That's right, bwana, tuna ugeni mkubwa kabisa, Vice President Energy. Yeye ametokea DMG Events. Damien Howard, welcome Damien.
Thank you so much.
If you just don't mind, just can you close to the microphone?
Good day.
Oh, sorry,
He's asking you to come as close to the microphone as possible so we can hear your lovely voice.
I'm right on it.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. For those who don't know about DMG Events, because we just spoke to Mheshimiwa Balozi Abdul Samad, Abdul Rahim, and the Tanzania Mining and Investment Forum. And it's also organized by DMG Events as well. All right, what does DMG do?
So, great question. So for 30 years, DMG Events have established themselves as a world-class leader in the organization of events, conferences and exhibitions. So we've been able to build on that reputation and harness it worldwide. We have 10 offices around the world, over 500 staff delivering and executing on expertise within this sector. And so we have specifically been looking after or engaging with the sub-Saharan African market, which is my portfolio.
All right.
For over 20 years now, and we have a width and depth of experience in the region, and we're very, very proud to have been invested in Tanzania since 2017.
That's interesting. 2017.
Absolutely. So we actually started before that in 2014, where we were running training courses for the energy sector here.
All right.
And then it was through collaborating with our local partner, Ocean Business Partners, and Balozi Abdul Samad,
Yes.
that we brainstormed and we thought, actually, these training courses are great, but can we do more beyond that? And it was actually the government's request that there was a need for a convenience of the private sector, investors, stakeholders and government to really come together and be able to discourse the challenges, the opportunities. And so that was when in 2017 we launched the Tanzania Oil and Gas Congress, which over the years has evolved to become the Tanzania Energy Congress.
Wow.
And in fact it ran a few weeks ago here. It was the 5th edition.
We were there. We were on site.
You were? Okay,
Yeah.
so sorry to have missed you, but I'm sure the airwaves were booming with your wonderful...
Absolutely. We got a chance to interview some of your esteemed guests, like some of the ambassadors, some of the key stakeholders. So it was a lovely conference. It was a huge, huge energy conference, and it actually shows the positioning of Tanzania. I was pretty shocked. So please carry on.
Absolutely. So this is the partnership that we've really leveraged with Ocean Business Partners. So DMG bring the world-class experience. We bring a global network of investors and oil, gas and energy professionals. So we're able to really activate that globally. But of course, having a local partner is absolutely critical, not just in terms of being able to understand the nuances and the local requirements from a opportunities and challenges perspective, but also in terms of the market development and the opportunities there. So cohesively, collaboratively, we've worked together, and this is pre-COVID, through COVID, of course a change in an administration, and this is what we've noticed is that since Her Excellency Mama Samia has been inaugurated and is leading the country, we found a real pivot, a real step change, certainly in terms of our global network.
Can I ask you in terms of specifics and success stories that people have been able to action upon after these conferences? Because it's one thing hosting these congresses, but it's another thing like what follows next. Usually it's harder to find and it takes a longer time to actually get to that point, but can you at least highlight a few success stories that you've witnessed personally?
Absolutely. Great question. There are actually 3 examples I can give. One of them most recently that I actually showcased at the Energy Congress we were speaking about a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Where a year ago we have an awards ceremony as part of our gala dinner, and a very open voting process that happens over a 6-month period, voting from all over the world on best local company, best international company, and local content champion of the year.
Okay.
And so last year we were very, very deeply honored to provide the local content champion award to the CEO of a small boutique consulting firm,
Wow.
Mr. Elvis Valentine of Rain Consultancy. And he was over the moon to have won it, because for him, it put his name, it put his firm on the map. And he came to me a year later at the gala dinner a few weeks ago and said, Damien, I don't know if you're aware of this, but having won that award last year has provided me with the credibility, unlocked doors, and the number of contracts that I've had since then has been phenomenal. So thank you so much for that. So for us, that is a huge success story, a huge win, because it's not us talking about it, it's not our partners talking about it, it's not even the government talking about it, it's actually somebody who's come with some tangible takeaways.
Fantastic.
Another example is we try and do a lot of work establishing the voice for not only micro SMEs, SMEs, but also those in areas such as women. We try to be very inclusive, try to be very diverse with those communities that often don't have a very strong voice. And so we established a Women in Energy Forum a year ago again, and the success stories that have come out of that, there was actually one who came back to us a year later who had been on the sidelines and witnessed this and then engaged with the women leaders at the time, and they were able to support with subsidies, to help them get educated in petroleum engineering, and now this one particular individual has already been granted a role at a big international company based here, working on a big project. So really, really exciting opportunities. But
so before you continue,
I was just going to save the best till last, but that's okay. We can move on.
I just want to translate for those who are still listening.
Yes.
Because of course we are Swahili speakers as well. Swali la kwanza ni ametoa mifano ya watu ambao wamenufaika, wamefaidika kutokana na kongamano kama hizi hapa. Mwaka jana mtu mmoja ambaye yeye alikuwa ni tena mjasiriamali mdogo tu, lakini consultant, yeye ni mshauri masuala haya, anaitwa Elvis Valentine. Yani walipiga kura tena online kwa muda miezi 6, taasisi mbalimbali, watu mbalimbali kutoka duniani kote huko. Yeye ndo kashinda tuzo hiyo ya mtu wa local content. Sawa? Sasa baada ya mwaka wamekutana juzi, anasema sijui kama unajua, lakini kushinda ile tuzo imenifungulia milango, nimepata mikataba mingi sana kutokana na hilo peke yake. Wa pili ni mama ambao yeye yupo kwenye masuala ya mining, ambao ni uchimbaji, lakini yeye alikuwa ni mdogo zaidi mwaka jana, lakini mwaka huu tayari yeye binafsi amepatiwa kazi ndani ya kampuni kubwa inayohusiana na masuala ya nishati Tanzania hii. Kwa hiyo usijione kama vile wewe ni mtu wa kuachwa, endapo wewe utachukua hatua ya kwenda kutembelea na kujiuliza maswali mengi. Sema Yaya.
Mimi ninavyoona kama vile kwa uelewa wangu sasa hivi naona maarifa ndio fursa. So to flip that over, knowledge is the opportunity. Kwa hiyo kama hauna hiyo maarifa, there's no way you're going to be equipped for these opportunities. Maana nimependa what they're doing. It's a lot of follow through, a lot of enabling people to do what they do best.
All right, so Damien, you had one last example to give. Success stories, please.
And this then segues into why we're here for mining. So in 2019, there was an undergraduate petroleum engineer who came to the Energy Congress, and he was so enthused and inspired by the talks on the stage, by the networking, that he committed himself, once he graduated, to somehow set up his own business and do his own thing.
Wow.
And so he did. He graduated through the pandemic, and then when we reached out to him back again, when we were back to live events at the end of 2021, we reached out to Peter Koshogu. We said, what are you up to? He said, yeah, I'm graduated. I've set up my own consulting firm, Solutions Tag.
Wow.
And how can we work together? And we said, well, we're thinking about setting up a youth program. And he said, well, I've got access to a phenomenal, network of contacts from all of the universities, the future leaders of the country. We said, that's fantastic. So we set up a poster award. And so we used to do an essay award for the best essay that came from undergraduates. But we flipped it on its head to make it more visual. And we were inundated with responses.
Wow.
And these were just concepts, proof of concepts that were designed either by hand or on CAD, submitted to us. We had to narrow it down from hundreds of submissions to the best 3. And we then blew these samples up. We printed them. We had them showcased in the exhibition. And so our guest of honor could actually visualize them. And then we invited the winner up to the stage. But so we work with Peter and the Solutions Tag team because we believe that helping to really support those communities who don't necessarily have the voice or that access is critical. And so it was almost a year ago to the day, that Madini, the Ministry of Minerals, approached us and they said, we heard that you're doing some quite incredible work with Ocean Business Partners and the Nishati, the Ministry of Energy. We run our own conference and we would really like to electrify it. We would really like to give it some global connectivity. Mama Samia, Her Excellency, has tasked the minister, then the Minister Biteku, who's now the Deputy Prime Minister, with attaining 10% of the GDP by 2025 for the mineral sector. And it's really, I mean, it's Tawindi Sasa, it's on the move. It's really happening, as they say. And so they said, we need a global platform to be able to engage not just local and regional stakeholders, but international investors as well. And so we've been working, we had a launch at Mining Indaba in February with the STAMICO team, the ministry team there on the ground. And we said, well, this is Mining Indaba, let's create Indaba kwa Tanzania. And this is where we are. We open tomorrow. We're super excited. We have 2 presidents confirmed, Her Excellency Dr. Suluhu Hassan, His Excellency Dr. Hussein Mwinyi. We have 5 foreign ministers, 14 sponsors, including Anglo Gold Ashanti and Barrick Gold. We have over 100 exhibiting companies, 700 delegates, representation from 25 countries, and a total of around 1,500 attendees.
Jamani, nasikia hizo takwimu kama haujazisikia utaingia online Mjini FM, Instagram utatupata kabisa. This is very exciting times. We were there during the Energy Congress, and you know, we are following up, and I believe we'll have access to interview a few more people who will be attending. And I did say even to Mheshimiwa Balozi Abdusamad that let's have a post-event analysis. You know, how did it go? Apparently there's a deal room. Is there a deal room?
There is indeed a deals room.
A deal room.
We were requested from day one that we started this project, we must have a deals room. And this is not just a talk shop. It's not just, you know, nice conversations. This is a forum to be able to generate deals.
Close.
Unasikia jamani?
Lovely.
Deal room ipo kabisa, sio story. Lengo ni kwamba Tanzania as a conducive investment climate. Now that's the big push. Twende wajasiriamali. One more question before we finally wrap it up. In terms of small artisan miners, what's in it for them? How can they be a part of this?
A great question. And so inclusivity, I mentioned before about really giving the voice and empowerment to those communities that might not have a voice or might not have a presence. For us, whether we're in Tanzania, in Nigeria, in China, Japan or Americas, wherever we're operating, it's about inclusivity. Because we provide the convening platform, not just for the ministers and the CEOs, stakeholders and investors, but also for the future leaders, so those students, but also for those communities like I've mentioned, you know, providing diversity, equity, inclusivity. For the small scale miners, for the micro miners, even those who have a single license that are operating, this is a platform for them to really be able to learn. How can they learn about health and safety and best practice? How can they learn about sustainability? How can they increase their connectivity and really be empowered to be able to showcase their natural resource wealth beyond just their small villages? So we're very, very proud to have a big representation from not just the big global mining companies, but also the medium, small, and even micro scale mining businesses here in Tanzania.
Damien, thank you so much. I know we've got so much to discuss, but time doesn't allow it. But we wish you all the best tomorrow and the day after.
Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Rais atakuwepo katika hii hapo, Mheshimiwa Rais wa Zanzibar, Mheshimiwa Rais wa Tanzania, wote watakuwepo. It's up to you. Na wewe ambao umesikia, nenda pale, usiacha ushamba.
Absolutely. Everyone that hears, man, I mean, so many stories of people who have been there and learned how to be a part of the value chain. So go ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Huyo kwa ni Damien Howard, yeye ni Vice President Energy upande wa DMG Events ambao wanashirikiana na Ocean Business Partners kufanya hii hapa kongamano kubwa kabisa ya uchimbaji pamoja na uwekezaji.